Hello everybody, this is Jermaine Griggs and I've decided to do a quick lesson on a few worship progressions that are very popular in gospel music. And if you're not a gospel musician, you can still benefit from these progressions because they sound really soulful. You can use them in rhythm and blues and all kinds of styles. I mean, they're minor 11th chords, 13th chords, and you'll find a place for them. And I figured today, I'm at home, so you might hear some background noise. You might even hear my newborn daughter. Actually, she's 3 months and 5 days from now. You might hear her in the background. So this ain't a professional video. So sorry to disappoint you all that are perfect. But I'm just going to use this new technology where you can see my screen and you can see me pressing down on my pedal here and you can see my notes. And I hope to give you a few things that you can benefit from, and not only just show you chords, because anybody can show you something, but I hope to also give you an understanding of how these things are used so that you can apply them to other areas of your playing and in different keys as well. So we're going to be in the key of A flat, okay, and kind of in F minor too. Most of you guys will know that A flat major pairs up with F minor. These two go together, and the reason why I won't get into that, but all you got to do really, if you know all your major scales, go to the sixth tone of your major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? It's F. And to find out the F minor scale, all you got to do is play the A flat major scale, which is A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G, and A flat. Play it from F to F. All we've done is change our starting and ending point, but we haven't changed anything else, okay? We just changed, and so now we're going to play. There's our F minor. And if you think I'm memorizing the F minor scale, you are wrong. I'm memorizing the A flat major scale. I'm just thinking from F to F. So you'll find that when we play in the key of F minor, A flat major, it feels the same. And if you're not reading sheet music, heck, you can pretty much call it what you want. I like to think of it as A flat major and just being on the sixth tone of A flat major. But what you find out is when you're playing in like a nice worship song that's minor, it'll feel like you're always coming back to the sixth tone. That's kind of how you know you've gone into that minor mode. Okay, so say you're just sitting down to play something at your church. A nice chord to play, and a lot of this is from Gospel Keys 202. So if you don't have that, you want to go to gospelkeys202.com. Now, here's a basic way to play F minor, right? That ain't going to fly. That's F, A flat, and C. Okay? Now, some people get good and they add this E flat. That'll give you an F minor 7. Okay? Now, if you think I'm going fast, just rewind. The reason why it gives you an F minor 7 is because of the 7th tone, the flat 7, okay? And that's beyond this lesson, but there's an F minor 7. Now what more advanced musicians will do, they'll take the F out because you don't need to have it redundant. It's already here on the left hand, as you can see. So it's kind of like playing A flat major over F. If you look at it, right? But we're inverting the A flat major chord so that E flat is on the bottom. So thus we have a chord that's E flat, A flat and C over F. Okay? Really, if you really get good at this, and the reason I'm slowing this down is because when we make this chord better, you'll see the implications. Okay, so really major parent, or the parent major, because A flat major is the parent, F minor is kind of like the child. They share the same key, but here's the parent major, but on F bass, the minor bass, gives you a nice F minor 7. Now what people will do, they'll add, see this G right here? They'll add that G right before the A flat. Okay? Now that's called the 9th tone of the scale, because if you look at the F, even if you just look at it doesn't matter if you look at the F major or the F minor scale, but G will be what we call the 9th tone. If you keep going, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, if you keep going to the next octave, you actually keep going. You don't start all over. You go to 9, 10, 11, 12, You know, you just keep going that way. But what you find is this G is the ninth tone, so we add that to our chord, and it automatically makes this chord an F minor 9. Sounds better. But there's something else people like to do. They like to extend it even more and add what we call the 11th tone. Because if you keep that major scale going, and you can do it off the major scale of F. You don't really have to be an F minor, because the ninth is going to be G, the 11th is going to be B flat, and you're not going to play it like a minor 13 chord. That doesn't happen too much. Okay, so we're going to add this B flat. Okay, and instead of playing the E flat down here like we're doing, now when you here's a particular voicing I like. You take the E flat off the bottom, put it on the top, but add the 11. So now it's kind of like you got this going on, but you're going to add that. It gives you a really nice, close, okay? And then you can even roll it, okay? On my left hand, I'm just taking my bass, I'm playing C and E flat. Now, C is the fifth of F, okay? You got to know your numbers and your scales to understand that, and I can't teach you that right now. E flat is the flat 7. So I like to do the 1, the 5, and the flat 7. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. Join the Gospel Music Training Center, because you'll learn all of that. And then on the right hand, G, A flat, B flat, C, E flat. Okay? Nice voicing. Okay? Now, a lot of people, what they'll do, really how I think about this chord, because I want to play this in all 12 keys. So I think of this kind of like an A flat major first. In my head, I say, let me add the ninth tone. Now, the ninth tone is also the same as the second tone. There's not much of a difference. I mean, 9, 2, yeah, the ninth tone can be played up here, but I mean, a lot of people say 9 and they play it down here. So I just say, hey, in between my first two fingers, add that tone. Whether you think of it as 2 or 9, it doesn't matter to me. And then once I have that, I add the seventh tone, the major 7, which the cheating way to figure that out is just go 1/2 step below A flat. Okay? So if I've already thought about this as an A flat major, then I add the second or the ninth tone. Then I just go 1/2 step down from, my lowest note, the root A flat, and then I'm going to hit that. My phone is ringing, as you can see. But now keep in mind, this could be an A flat, major 9 chord, but we're not using it that way. We're putting it on F to create a nice minor 11 chord, okay? Now what some people will do, to lead into this, they'll hit a B flat major chord, okay? F, B flat, and D on C bass. Okay, because if you know anything about the circle of fifths, you'll find that C leads to F. So you'll find yourself doing a lot of progressions no matter what key you're in. We happen to be in the key of A flat or F minor, doesn't matter. You could be in the key of B flat, C will lead to F. They love each other. You could be in the key of A flat, C will lead to F. You could be in the key of C, C will lead to F. You can be in the key of, what other keys can you be in? I don't know, the key of E flat. C is a 6th tone, F is the 2nd tone. They will lead to each other, okay? So I hit a B flat major chord right before I hit, on C bass, and then I hit. Okay? And then after this chord, I like to go to what we call an A flat 13 with a flat 9. Okay? Now how you play that chord, I want to explain all of it, but I'm going to hit A flat and E flat over here on my left hand. On my right hand, I'm going to hit G flat, A, C, F. Okay? Now keep in mind, I'm not being very theoretically correct when I label these, because we said flat 9, so obviously this should be B double flat, but I'm not going to confuse you like this. Let's just call this G flat, A, C, F. Okay? You can roll that. So I hit the C and F kind of quicker than everything else. Okay? So you have okay? And what I do, see, because A flat when you're in the key A flat, it's usually going to take you to D flat. Okay, and we'd have to go to the circle of fifths, and I'm not going to get into that discussion, but music likes to move in fours. So you get this F minor taken to this A flat, sort of like a passing chord, and then this A flat will take you to this D flat major 9 with an added 6. Okay, so basically what I'm hitting is D flat, A flat, D flat. Then I'm hitting F, A flat, B flat, C, and E flat. It's kind of like that first chord we played, but instead of having G here, we put F. Okay, so I'm gonna hold this down so you can see it. Now another thing you can do, if you have the reach, you can go D flat, A flat, E flat. Okay, that puts, instead of having heavy D flats in the building, that E flat is the 9th tone. The 9th tones sound really good. The 7 tones sound really good too, but between the 7 and the 9, you can get really jazzy with your chords. This added 13 right here sounds really good too. Okay, or added 6. That's where you get the 6. So this is what we call a D flat major 9 with an added 6. So now you have okay, so those are 3 chords. Now you can cycle those over and over. Okay, now sometimes I don't hit the A flat here. Sometimes you can hit just this. The A flat is the 5th tone. What you'll find is the 5th tone of D flat, right? What you'll find, the 5, it's one of those tones, especially in major and minor chords. It doesn't matter too much because it's very quiet. It doesn't make a difference. Like if I don't include it, it won't change the name of my chord. Now the 3rd tone of the scale, the 7th tone of the scale, those tones, those are important because those determine whether you're playing a minor chord, a major chord, a dominant, a diminished. But the 5th tone, usually, you can leave it out just kind of how you want to do it. Sometimes you can play it full like that. Sometimes you can just go like this. Sometimes you can use this B flat and C, and you can just kind of do a grace note there, and you don't even have to hold on to the B flat. So it's kind of like that. Okay, so you have many options. You can go here. Okay, and you can repeat those. Now, playing by ear is all about having options. So when I go to this chord, which is the A flat 13 with the flat 9, or A flat 7 with the flat 9, add 13, however you want to look at it. Don't worry about that. Just write down what I'm telling you. And then what I would do, sometimes I like to add that A flat up here. Some people won't be able to reach it, so that's fine. It adds a different angle. Listen to it. See? I hit those a little faster up there. And then, to keep that melodic flavor, because I went to that A flat, then I would change my next chord. So write this chord down. That's a nice little variation. All I did was really add the A flat. Then I can add here. I can go here. So I keep the A flat on top, and I go to my next chord. Now, keep in mind, the first version of this chord was like this, right? The second version, we took away the A flat. So we took away that. The third version I taught you, we just did this. We use that B flat. Another version, you can get rid of the E flat and just go F, C, and F, but use this B flat. This version I'm teaching you is kind of like you're playing that and you're playing this. So it's like you have the B flat back. You're not playing A flat, too much of a stretch. You're playing it up here though. F, B flat, C, F, and A flat. Okay? And that's usually after I do this bigger chord. So let's listen to the difference. That's the first way. Okay. Now I can do the second way. Okay. Now I can do a passing. Okay. This is the passing chord. Remember I said C will usually take you to F? First we did this. Now I'm going to teach you a more altered version. Okay, so this is what we call a C7 sharp 9 sharp 5. Okay. You spell it out C, E. This technically you'll call that G sharp, B flat, and D sharp because the chord is C7 sharp 9. So D is the 9. Sharping it makes it D sharp, not flatting it. But the software doesn't do that. Okay, and then this G sharp, you know, it's saying A flat, but you can call it G sharp. But hey, if you just play this chord, it'll be fine. Okay, as long as you're not doing a music theory test. Okay, so C, and then E, A flat, B flat, E flat, according to what the screen says. And what that'll do, that'll bring you back home if you want to repeat. Now the little melody thing is coming down the A flat major scale. If you know your A flat major scale, the 5th tone, 4th tone, 3rd tone, 2nd tone, and just coming down the A flat major scale. E flat, D flat, C, B flat, A flat. With the chord though. And that comes right into the chord. Okay, so now you have so you have different variations you can work with. Okay, now here's something else you could do. You can come from this F minor 11 and you can actually come back down to C and D and then go up to D flat. So instead of going F on your bass, A flat, and then D flat, you can actually go F, C, D flat. So the C is acting like a passing chord to the D flat. So we're going to play the same chord on F. Okay, but when we get to this C, we're going to play the same kind of chord as we play on F. This is an F minor 11. Well, this is a C minor 11. Okay? It's deeper. You can play it up here if you want. But notice, really it's just an E flat major chord with that added 2, remember that? And then we added the 7. So you want to try to get the formula down, but play that over C bass, because C is a 6th tone of E flat. So the same thing we did in relationship with F to A flat, remember that? F being the 6th tone of the scale and all that stuff I did to let you know how I memorized the chord. Well, same applies on C. And I encourage you to take this formula, starting with the parent major, because we know we want a C minor chord. Well, it's going to be connected to E flat. Just ask yourself, C is the 6th tone of what major scale? And it'll lead you to E flat. Start with a major chord over C. That's the basic. That's a C minor 7. Add the 2 of the E flat chord. Okay? And then come down here and add the 7 of the E flat. So alone, you have yourself a nice E flat major 9, like I told you before. But when you put it over C, it changes the chord. Now the chord is based off of C, and it makes it a C minor 11. You got to get the 300-page course for the theory behind that. And then that'll take us. We can just we can use that. Okay. We can change up our chord. Remember our E flat, our D flat major chord? It was like this. But that's because of how we were using our melody, you know. But now that we've changed to a chord like this, we might want to change up our chord a little bit. So I'm just going to hit a D flat, and then a C, E flat, F, and A flat. So a regular D flat major 9 chord. D flat, C, E flat, F, A flat. And then you can even play the D flat down there. Okay, so you got it that way, and then we can do this. Okay, all I did there, many people remember this from Gospel Keys 101. Remember when, right? I'm just doing that, but I'm taking out my middle note. I'm not playing it. So you have C and A flat, D flat and B flat, and E flat and C. Just the basic harmonization scale. Whenever I go to the 4, sometimes I do that. You know, sounds good over the 4th tone. Or you can go to that chord that we introduced. Okay? Now this E flat here, you can use it as a grace note too if you want. Remember how we did the other time? We did that in the other chord. I don't know, I'm just messing around with the pentatonics. I'm rusty there. But here, we're playing a D flat major 9, but we're using this E flat to walk up. So that's something you can do too. Okay? So we got that, and then we got, that's kind of too low. So that's why I moved it up here. Okay? And then you can even follow up. Okay, so. Okay. Some people. Okay, that's another thing to do. See these little 2 note, you got to get good at doing these. Oops. Okay, so I'm doing, really it's just an A flat major to E flat major. And then I'm using, when I come back, so it's taking the place of my F minor 11. Because really what an F minor 11 is, if you look at it, it's like a, how many different chords do you see in this chord? I see a C minor chord. I see a E flat major chord. You see that? I see a A flat major chord. I see there's a lot of chords in here. No, not a G chord. I see a C minor. I see a F minor. You know, there's many smaller chords in a big chord. So being able to take out the smaller chords and put them up here, you know, you can make up your own different voicings. This is what we call a polychord. It's 2 or more smaller chords coming together to create a bigger chord. And all of the extended chords, like 11s and 13s and 9s, you'll find they have a lot of smaller chords inside of them. Okay, and so all we're doing is kind of, so that's kind of, actually there's a song, I don't even know what I'm doing. Actually, scratch that. Okay, so sometimes you can lead in by using these two little chords here. So, okay. Oh, I think what I was thinking of is that Donnie McKirkin song. Da, 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 da. I'm kind of borrowing from that, I guess you could say. But I'm doing it on F minor, so it gives it a different sound. There's another one. Remember when we did this? Remember that passing chord we used? Remember? You're probably going to have to rewind and go back. But remember this? Well, we could do what we call a tritone substitution. Don't ask me. I'm probably going to have to cover this in another video. But in the Gospel Music Training Center, we cover all of this. But in other words, when you're playing chords like altered chords, particularly dominant chords, you can actually go up 3 whole steps from your bass. Okay? That's whole step always skips 1 key, right? So C to D is a whole step, D to E is a whole step, E to F is not a whole step. There's no key in between, so we need to skip F and go up here. And this chord, without changing this chord, it works on G flat. Okay? So you can even go. You get that? Okay, or you can go. Or you go. So what I did, instead of playing G flat on my bass, I took my left hand and played. I played the chord, and then in my right hand, I just went down E flat. Chromaticism like this, going down chromatically, meaning note for note, works very well. Okay, and you can even go. Okay, you can even keep it going. So you got. You can even do that. See, playing by ear, when you're sitting here practicing, a lot of stuff I'm doing, I don't have an outline, guys, to be honest. This is laid back Jermaine. Jermaine with an outline is in the studio with my nice broadcaster voice on. Hey, welcome to Gospel Keys 101. This is like me literally like, what else can I show you? So you got. No, you can't do that one. Don't do that one. Okay, so you got something there, and that can kind of take you. Okay, now let's do a pass. Let's do some more passing chords. So you can, instead of this F coming to A flat, let's do what I call a 6-2-5-1 turnaround. Now you need to know your numbers. A flat. Okay, number your scale. So this is A flat is 1, B flat is 2, and so on until you have 7 tones, right? Well, this is the 6th tone of A flat. This is the 2nd tone. This is the 5th tone. Of course, A flat is the 1st tone, and this is the 4th tone. So this is what we call a 6-2-5-1-4. Whenever you're going to the 4, it doesn't matter. A lot of worship songs go to the 4. You can back up and do like a. Now, that's probably not the voicings I would choose. I would probably go like this. And then maybe go back to that same chord and then come home. But what I did, okay, so I'm on F, right? Now you need to go faster. Why? Well, it's common sense. You're adding in more chords, but you have the same amount of time. God didn't give me no more time for this progression, right? I have the same amount of time to do double the work. So my chords are not going to be as slow. Now it's going to be boom, 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 boom. Okay? So first chord is what you already know, F minor 11. Now what we're going to do, we're going to go to a B flat 7, sharp 9, sharp 5. In other words, so you want to get used to hearing these chord qualities because this is the same chord as this one. Remember the passing chord in the beginning? We just covered it when we did the tritone substitution. I also showed it to you on G flat, which makes this chord actually like something like a G flat 13. Well, this chord right here, C7 sharp 9 sharp 5, it's the same as B flat. Okay? Because if I actually take this chord and move every finger down 2 half steps, because C is here, well, if I want to find the same exact chord, this is how you learn a chord in all 12 keys, actually. Just say, well, where do I want to go? If I want to go to B flat, well, how far is B flat from C? It's 2 half steps, right? 1, 2. So I literally move every finger down. And that gives me the same chord. Nothing changes when I do this, but the name, B flat. 7 sharp 9 sharp 5 instead of C. Okay, so playing it up here, all I'm doing is instead of playing the B flat, I'm playing it up here. So this is the same kind of chord. So I'm going from F minor 11, B flat 7 sharp 9 sharp 5, E flat minor 11. In other words, this F minor 11, well, it's the same as this E flat minor 11. We just moved everything down to E flat. Doesn't it seem like the same chord? Start with G flat, add the 2, add the mirror. Okay? And remember how we did this? We did this nice B flat passing to this? Well, you can do the same thing on this chord, right? Okay, so just write this down. E flat, B flat, F, G flat, A flat, B flat, and D flat. You can actually use A flat major to go to it. A lot of advanced people will slip that in. E flat, A flat, and C right before, so they'll go. Okay, now the main chord is this. Don't get me wrong. This is the main chord, but they'll slip that right in. Okay? And then, that's my left hand right here. Okay? And from here, I wouldn't do that one, because that's basically A flat major 7 sharp. It's the same as this B flat. I'm not going to do that here. I will take you back to the chords you already know. And then from there, it's all the same. So it's just like, it's basically doing this. It's the same thing, but we added 2 passing chords. So we went. Now we're back to where we would be. And now we're back, we're continuing things. Now we can go back to, we can add that passing chord and make it real busy, but beware, you don't always have to be busy. But if I wanted to make it really busy, I could go. I messed up a little bit. Okay, so that, and then I, okay, what I just did there, you can, and I hope you guys, I'm just giving you what I got today. Here's something you can do. You can actually skip this chord altogether, and actually you can go just straight to this chord. Okay, so you go. Or I would probably go, let's see. Okay, so instead of going, and then some people will go, let me see. Actually, take that back. You still do this. Okay, still do the F minor, which you already learned. And then when you get here, you do this run. You go. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to have to cover this fast or I'll be here all day. So you go, you're going to go. D flat, G flat, B flat. So that's G flat major, right? Hold that down. Then A flat major, E flat, A flat, C. And that's the same one, you know, that I taught you already. Remember? And now you're to the chords you already know. The F, G flat, A flat, B flat, and D flat. Okay. Now here's the cool part. Just do the same thing backwards. So if this was the first chord, this was the second chord, this was the third chord. Now come back down. Okay, so you went da, 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 da. We just went up. So we went up and we came back down. Now the only difference is we're gonna go to C F A, F major. So okay, so after here, now we're gonna come back up to our starting chord and then back to our A flat chord. And we're going to hit that 3 times or hit that twice. So you have so it's kind of like first chord, second chord, third chord, back to second chord, first chord, add the new chord, back to first chord, and end on the second chord. Now the bass is going E flat, A flat, D flat. So the same pattern. You know, we started here. Remember, we started at the F minor 11. We went to the B flat, and then we would start. Okay, something like that. So you went. Let's see. And then I guess the other thing you could do is, when I get back up to this one, I kind of get rid of this A flat and go back to my Gospel Keys 101 harmonization. Okay, so I go E flat C, D flat B flat, and C A flat. So it's kind of like, okay, so that's all I'm doing is coming down the scale. E flat and C, D flat and B flat, C and A flat, and then it's kind of hitting this G flat 13 chord here. B, E flat, E, and A flat. B, E flat, E, A flat, and then G flat bass. Okay, so you just gonna have to catch that one. Like I said, I'm just messing around here. Okay, what else can you do? Okay, let's see. We covered this. We covered. Now, if you wanted to end, you could actually, instead of coming back to this F minor 11, now you can do this passing chord still. Remember the C, 7, sharp 9, sharp 5, we already covered. Now, instead of coming back to this F minor 11, you can actually go major with it. Okay, and this is an F major 9. You can even add C and D if you want, but that's going to make it like a major 9 with an added 6th tone. Right? 6th tone. But you can just keep it like that. F, C, E, G, A, C. That's when you want to flip it. You don't want it to be a minor chord. You want it to be a major chord. So you go. Okay? And it can still take you where you want to go. Here's another thing you can do. Instead of doing this, you can go keep A flat and E flat in your left hand, and then go D flat, G flat, B flat, which is G flat major. Bring that down to F major. Kind of like, okay, we're just taking this, okay, from that long string of chords, and then going to our D flat chord. So it's kind of like an abbreviated version of that. Okay, so let's see. If I had more time, we could probably cover like when you come here. If you are good on your left hand, you could actually do that on your left hand, or come up here, and then you could do a run, and then those are just little things. Okay, I'm rusty on that one. I used to love that scale. So whenever you're doing like a 7 sharp 9 sharp 5 like that, you can hit. There's many variations. I like E flat, D flat, C, A flat, E, E flat, D flat, C, A flat, E. It just repeats. Some people do all the black notes, like a whole tone scale kind of semi. But like I said, I'm rusty on that one. Okay, so I think I've done enough. Here you kind of come into my private closet today. Hope you thought it was valuable. Like I said, let's see some of the things that might help you based on this lesson. If this intrigued you, Gospel Keys 202 would cover a lot of these chords. Gospel Keys 202, again, gospelkeys202.com. If you really want to get advanced, even beyond this, and get ready for it, Gospel Keys Urban Pro 600. You can get that at gospelkeys600.com, gospelkeys600.com. The Gospel Music Training Center, every week you learn new chords and patterns, every Friday actually, loaded. Beginner stuff, advanced stuff, praise, worship, shouting, everything. You can get that at hearandplay.com/order GMTC. Okay, GMTC, Gospel Music Training Center. And that's at hearandplay.com/order GMTC. Other than that, rewind this over and over and try to pick up on some things. Like I said, I was just showing you a few things you can do in worship, even in your own personal devotion or at church. However you want to use it. This is laid back Jermaine today, okay? So remember, as always, if you can hear it, you can play it. I appreciate you for watching this small tutorial, and I'll see you next time. Take care.